This is Perfect English Practice Podcast.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Sue.
So today it's conspiracy theories. And just before we get into it, let's look at the definition of conspiracy theories. It might help people. So a conspiracy theory is a way to try to explain an event by saying it's a secret plot. It's all secret. And this is a secret plot that's been orchestrated by some hidden, powerful people. So why do you think people believe this?
Well, we'll have a look at what some of the scientific research says about it before we get into some conspiracy theories, some well-known ones that most people know and some that they may not know so much. But the thing with humans is that we have a natural skepticism towards authority and power. And in most developed countries, the belief in government is at an all-time low in the US, in the UK, and in Europe, etc. And so we don't tend to believe these things. So if somebody comes up with a conspiracy that these people are up to no good, then the tendency is to actually believe them. I mean, if I go into what the Dr. Michael Shermer said in his research, he said that we descended from primates that tended to notice dangerous hidden things like a predator in long grass, which is, the conspiracy theory, in fact. And as I said, the faith in institutions is low. And the problem is that a lot of the conspiracies tend to be quite logical. They tend to be things that you could believe. Now, there's some things which are totally illogical.
I was going to say, are you looking at my eyes? They are wide open.
They really are. Because some of them, like you're right, that some of them are very illogical, but some are not so. But it can also, the thing with the key seems to be the bigger the conspiracy theory, the more likely it is to be just that, a conspiracy theory.
Just give me an example.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what you mean.
For example, in the 70s, there was a conspiracy theory about Watergate, which was Richard Nixon government in the US, that they'd broken into a government building to steal some things. Now, Watergate turned out to be true. It wasn't a conspiracy theory, but there were only 5 people. But if you have, like, for example, if, as some people say, that 9/11, for example, in the US was a conspiracy from the inside, there's so many people that would need to keep to the same story that it's virtually impossible that it's anything else but a conspiracy theory. So the less people involved, the more likely it's to be true. The more involved, the more likely it's to be a conspiracy.
Yes. So it's very interesting, actually. I've been looking a bit at conspiracy theories too, and they do tend to focus on government actions, political actions, and health also seems to be another aspect that people think there's some secret plot to do bad things to us.
You're thinking of Bill Gates and the COVID-19, aren't you?
I am.
For example.
I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, did you believe anything about the COVID-19 pandemic?
What do you mean, believe it?
I mean, did you believe it was?
It was true.
Yes, I'm sure it was true. But
Personally, yeah, I did, yeah. And I think that maybe a lot of it was frightened that it was true. So I went and got a vaccine. Now, a lot of people may be against that. I don't care.
yeah, but in terms of vaccine, this was one of the conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm.
Some people thought that Bill Gates was behind the vaccine. I can't even follow the story. It's so
control everybody.
implausible.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, there's the other ones about 5G as well. Yeah.
what's that?
I don't know, 5G caused COVID or whatever. There's lots of seemingly mad things about it. And quite a few people believe it, Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can come across some other ones. I've got a list of just a few, because there are lots and lots and lots of conspiracy, ancient and modern, some that are still around. Some people are still talking about them. I mean, I'll give you one. This could be a conspiracy theory, that the earth is flat.
Now, come on, come off it, Chris. I have to strongly disagree with that. Everybody knows it's not flat.
Okay, but, when you drive along or you walk along, you're not going sort of down a curve, are you?
No, but maybe these are people who haven't seen pictures of the Earth, or do they believe those
How do you
pictures?
know those are not a conspiracy?
Very, 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 very good point.
In fact, that leads us to another conspiracy, that the moon landings were faked and that man has never set foot on the moon.
Yeah.
And it was a film made by Stanley Kubrick.
It was.
apparently.
It was a great film. I love that film. It was called Capricorn One or something.
I think that came out before.
Oh, did it? Anyway, but great film, great ideas. But I personally feel totally untrue. I believe we landed on the moon.
Okay.
I believe. Do you?
Yeah, I'll do it. But I mean, when you look at some of the theories, they are a little bit far fetched. You know, there's things like there's no stars in the skies, but the cameras weren't of a huge resolution anyway. You probably couldn't
Yeah.
have seen. And there's probably something to do with they're on the dark side of the moon. Or
Yeah, and there's something about a footprint.
something about a flag.
Yeah, a flag.
Waving in the wind or something.
Yes.
In the vacuum of space, it shouldn't have happened.
But it's really implausible. I mean, for me personally, I cannot agree with that type of conspiracy
I think
theory.
they're off their head a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But that's it. Well, how about the JFK assassination? That it was the conspiracy is that it was done by the CIA.
Again, great films. It's a great source of films. Maybe we like stories, but I don't think it's very likely. I mean, what do I know? But maybe it was just things I've seen. Maybe it was the mafia that set up Oswald to shoot JFK, and then he himself was shot in turn. I mean, it's a great plot.
Well, I mean, you can even go deeper into this. I read something about the Umbrella Man. Have you ever heard of that?
Never.
Well, apparently it was somebody in the crowd who had a black umbrella. And there are two theories. One is that he was signaling to say that the president was in range. And the other one is that he fired from his umbrella a poison dart that immobilized President Kennedy, so he's an easier target.
Well, I'm just astounded by that. And I don't think it could have happened like that.
No. Well, I mean, there are things that there's sort of A equals B equals C, 2 and 2 equals 4 or 5 or however many you want. And they'll say that, yeah, but Lee Harvey Oswald was then shot by Jack Ruby, was it? And, you know, so there was nobody left. There's all sorts of stuff like this.
But I think it makes for a good story. And we all love stories.
We do.
And the films that that talk about it are always very, very intriguing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the truth is sometimes is more boring than the.
You're obviously a bit of a cinephile.
I am.
You've picked up on a couple.
Yeah.
Let's see if you know a film
Okay.
about this one. Paul McCartney is dead, and he's been dead for like, I don't know, 50 odd years.
Well, I'm not that gullible. I don't believe it, and I can't agree with you to any extent on that.
Do you know what the theory says?
No, hit me with it.
Well, it says that they were recording in Abbey Road, the Beatles, in the 60s, and Paul McCartney, for some reason, left the studio and was crushed by a car. Okay. There are no pictures to prove this, but there you go. And apparently, what happened is they got somebody who was a stand-in lookalike and sing-alike. Yeah, he had the same voice. I know you're laughing, but, you know, stay serious. And apparently there's lots and lots of, like, clues to show that Paul McCartney was actually dead. And one of them is that when they're walking across on the Abbey Road, I think it's the Abbey Road album, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, where they're walking across the zebra crossing. Apparently Ringo is dressed in black. That means the Undertaker. John is dressed in white, which means like
Heaven.
holy. Yeah. And Paul is barefoot because he's dead.
All right.
There you go. And apparently, if you can get all sorts of clues from, if you play certain records backwards of the Beatles, it says, "We miss Paul, we miss Paul,"
Well,
or something like that.
I'm going to say
Total rubbish.
a load of rubbish. But I have to say though, Chris, I mean, that's for me, that's a kind of fun conspiracy theory, completely crazy. But there are quite a lot of serious ones, which I find much more disturbing and
Okay, but
consequential.
you've mentioned the word serious. Well, how about this one then? That America and the royal family are actually... No, don't laugh. they are shape-shifting reptiles with human form.
Right.
What do you think
Okay.
of that
Well,
one?
I'm actually speechless. I mean, you know me, I've normally got something to say, but I'm going to say, who are these crazy people?
Well, apparently, quite a big percentage of Americans and Brits believe this.
I don't believe they do. What about, I
Well,
think,
David Icke believes it.
well, if anyone knows about David Icke, they can Google him for a good laugh, you know. But I mean, why is it only the royal family that are these reptiles?
Because they're the people that are in charge, you know? And there's another, I'll go for another conspiracy theory, is that Prince Harry, his children are born in the States, so they've got British.
Actually, I've got to pick you up. They're not born in the States.
Are they not?
One, I'm sorry, I am a bit of a royal fan here.
Okay.
The daughter was born in the UK,
Okay.
but yes, the son
Okay. So
or is it the other way around?
Whatever.
The other way around. The other way around. Yeah.
Whatever. But let me tell you, the thing with this is that this was done because he's a reptile as well, apparently.
Of course.
In
Of
a
course he
human
is.
form.
Of course.
And this was done so that his son, who is probably a reptile as well, can be the King of England and the President of the United States.
Yes.
And then the lizards will rule the earth.
Right.
Dinosaurs will rule the earth again.
Well, I need to take that with a very large pinch of salt. And I haven't got any brain space for this, I'm afraid.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, it's total rubbish, isn't it? But, I mean,
Yeah.
but some people actually buy into this. As much as you can laugh about it, some people buy into this, you know? Do you have any?
Well, yes. Well, I'm thinking more of serious ones in in this day and age with real consequences. I mean, Harry being a reptile or whatever. I can't get into that. But what about climate change? You know, a lot of people. There is a conspiracy. Well, people believe that climate change is a hoax.
Yeah, but I mean, I've heard people just recently talking about this, and they say things like, "Oh, climate change can't exist because it's cold today."
Yes, that's right.
You know?
Yes,
Although they don't actually call it climate change; they call it global warming.
Yeah.
So they say it's cold today, so it can't be.
Yeah, but people do. A lot of people believe it. I mean,
know.
and I'm wanting to really get the idea of what's the difference between a conspiracy theory, fake news, and just like disinformation. You know,
Well, I think misinformation
misinformation. Mhm.
can often, and the conspiracy beliefs can be groundless, but they can have a lot of harmful real world
Sure.
consequences. Because if people
Sure.
do not believe in global warming, they're not going to, or the climate change, they're not going to do anything to reverse it. And they're going to probably speak a bit like it's a bit like, when you go to a good restaurant, you speak to one or two people, but you go to a bad one, you tell hundreds of people.
Yes,
It's a bit like that type of thing. But the problem is that, if we'll say if global warming exists, okay? We'll stay on the neutral. If it exists, then these people who are sort of saying that it doesn't exist and are going diametrically opposite this type of, they're not doing anything in any way to reduce waste, for example. It's causing a lot of problems because, and I don't know what they get out of it, honestly. It's the same with the vaccine deniers. What did they actually get out of it?
Well, I think from what I've been reading, I think these people, because facts are of no interest to them.
No.
It's just an emotional reaction to what they hear, and I think it's that they want to feel more intelligent, or they want to be in control. They want to say that they know better.
Well, I've noticed, and I've we've really made an effort to keep away from politics, but it does seem that a lot of these conspiracy theories are very much linked to the right,
Yes.
way of thinking. But a lot of people say that the problem with conspiracy theories is the internet and social media, which is not really true.
Oh, I have to say, I actually disagree with you on this.
Well, I'm afraid.
Give me your point of view.
Well, conspiracy theories were being spread, generated, and believed long before internet.
Witches, I suppose.
Sorry?
Like, in the olden days when there were witches.
Yeah,
people-
witches. There was the famous one of a fire in Chicago, where it was an Irish immigrant who was blamed for it because her house was untouched, etc. And that spread really, really quickly. There's things like Watergate. That conspiracy spread long before social media was about. There's lots and lots of things. There's many religious ones. Let's not go there, but there were, which were spread. People choose to believe or disbelieve what they want.
Well, I can agree with you on that to some extent, but just I want to put the point of view forward that with social media, I'm thinking particularly of X, now
Totally.
formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah.
Elon Musk he's opened the floodgates to people who like to spread these ideas for whatever reason they like to do it, and I think it exists and it spreads, but so much more quickly.
Sure.
Than it used to in the days of Chicago Fire or the Witches.
Well, they can target their audience as well.
Yeah, yes.
Well, let's have a little look at some conspiracy theories that were, and this is before the internet as well, so before social media.
Okay, so that's my idea put down. Right, okay.
Not necessarily, but there were conspiracy theories at the time that turned out to be true.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So, one of the conspiracies, which was not really well accepted, was that tobacco companies knew that there was a link between cancer and tobacco usage, so smoking and cancer.
Yes.
And a lot of, you can find them still on YouTube, the old 1950s and 1960s advertisements where they had a doctor in a white coat smoking a camel and saying, camels are good for you, or Lucky Strike, or whatever.
Yes.
And a lot of people were trying to put this noise out, if you like, that they were bad, they did cause cancer, but they were seen as just conspiracy theorists. It didn't happen. But in the 1990s, Philip Morris, which is the nation's largest cigarette maker at the time, admitted that smoking could cause cancer.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
before that, they didn't.
Very good example.
Okay, so that's one. I have another one. You've got to tell me if it's a conspiracy or a truth.
Oh, okay.
Okay. John Lennon was under government surveillance.
Well,
Back to the Beatles.
Well, I would not be in the least bit surprised.
And why would you say that?
So when you say government, do you mean American or British?
Yeah,
American.
he lived in America.
Literally, I have no doubt about that, because
And who do you think was spying on him?
the government, FBI, CIA, because, John Lennon was quite on the left. He had a lot of revolutionary ideas. Governments keep their eye on people like that, especially when they've got quite a big group of followers. Oh, I'm not in the least bit surprised. I would say it's definitely true.
Yep, you're right.
Oh, right, good.
Totally right. He was put, during the Nixon government, he was put under surveillance, and they even tried to deport him in 1972.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because of exactly what you said. He was give peace a chance and, anti-war song. Yeah. Good. So that's right. And how about, this is during Prohibition, when alcohol in the 20s and 30s was banned in the USA, it's Prohibition period. The conspiracy was that the government poisoned alcohol to keep people from drinking.
Now then, I would find that difficult to believe. And it's true.
You're a bit skeptical.
I am skeptical of people who shout, who
Would you say no way?
I would probably say it's highly unlikely.
Okay. Well, it was actually true.
Wow.
Because, in fact, what they wanted to do was to put more dangerous chemicals into the alcohol to discourage bootleggers from turning the alcohol into what they called moonshine.
Yes.
Which was another form of whiskey or whatever. But it didn't stop them. And 10,000 Americans have been killed by poisoned booze by the end of Prohibition.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow. And when was this discovered to be true?
This was, it's probably, because a lot of governments have like 30 and 40 rule on information, and it was probably discovered in the 70s.
Yeah.
A lot was discovered in the 70s because you had the pre-war stuff, etc. You also had which was a conspiracy at the time, is that Woodrow Wilson's wife actually run the government.
Now, I actually believe that.
Ah, okay.
I actually believe that.
Why?
Well, he was very sick. And again, this is movies talking now, but his wife did help him a lot. And I think the fact that he was very sick, it was hidden. The thing about the conspiracy is always someone hiding something from other people. So it was hidden, and I think that she did actually run the joint, and but I think he came back to be well again. Am I right in saying this?
I don't know whether it came back to be well, but it seems feasible that
Yeah.
she did run the government because he had a particularly debilitating stroke, and the government didn't want to really sort of alarm the population, and so it just carried on. So you're quite right.
And
Well done.
this is echoes of in France when there was the president Francois Mitterrand. He had cancer, and he was sick, of course, and that was hidden from the population for quite a while
Yep.
because they don't want to show their leaders being weak or not able to run the government in case of a crisis. I'm not sure how that would work these days. I think
it depends where, because I know in a certain North African country, there was a guy in a wheelchair, couldn't speak and hardly see, and the government ran until he died. But won't need to mention where it was. You have to guess. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've done the tour of
I
that.
think so.
And so thank you, Chris. That was very interesting.
Thanks, Sue. Now we're going to look at some ways of agreeing and disagreeing, both strongly and less strongly, using as examples some of the conspiracy theories that we've spoken about and some new ones. We don't necessarily agree or disagree with them, we're just using the language as an example.
So now we're going to show you 20 ways where we can disagree or disagree. And we're going to give you a conspiracy theory and then a beep, and then you can hear the agreement or disagreement.
The government were responsible for the assassination of JFK.
I find that highly unlikely. JFK was murdered by the mafia.
Absolutely not. Area 51 is a place in the States where aliens are kept.
It's plausible. Princess Diana was murdered by the British Secret Service because she was pregnant.
Total and absolute rubbish. Paul McCartney, one of the Beatles, died in 1967 or 68 and was replaced by a body and voice double.
I really don't think so. I haven't seen any evidence of that. Barack Obama wasn't born in the USA.
Well, that could be true. Secret societies like the Illuminati rule the world.
Bingo. I'm totally with you on that. I've often suspected it. Okay. Prince Harry is not Prince Charles's son.
No way. The 1969 Apollo moon landings were totally faked and filmed in a studio by Stanley Kubrick.
You're joking. I don't believe a word of it. Bill Gates invented the COVID-19 virus to control the world's population.
You're kidding me. The CIA created and spread the AIDS virus.
Well, I suppose that could be true. Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 has been abducted to an island in the South Pacific.
Of course not. How on earth could that be true? The government in the US and the royal family are in fact reptiles that have human faces. We are governed and ruled by lizards.
Well, maybe you're right. I think that could be a possibility. We're all living in the Matrix.
I totally believe that. The Earth is actually flat. It is not a sphere or a globe, it is flat.
I agree to some extent. In 1999 World Cup, the New Zealand team was poisoned by the South Africans in the final, so South Africa could win.
To a point, yeah, I agree with that.
Good one.
King Charles is in fact a vampire.
I totally agree with that. Bigfoot is real and is living in Arizona.
Well, it is feasible, isn't it? The Titanic didn't actually sink. It was another ship of the same line.
That strikes me as quite implausible.